Kia has recently released the 2025 model year changes for its newly refreshed K5 sedan, and in this video we're going to cover the exact changes across the entire trim lineup, go over the full pricing information, as well as cover some of the big news in terms of powertrain changes for most of the trims. So first I want to run through each trim level individually, telling you exactly what is gained or lost in some cases versus the previous model year, the 2024s. Then we'll cover some of the color availability, the full pricing information, as well as the powertrain changes and which trim levels they'll apply to. So starting out with the base LXS trim level, the features that are being gained for the 2025 refresh is the 12.3-inch CCNC light infotainment system with wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. This of course is the latest hardware and UI theme by both Hyundai and Kia, so great to see that. It's getting smart cruise control as standard, which also comes with the more advanced forward collision avoidance, which includes cyclist, car, pedestrian, and junction turning detection, the camera and radar-based systems all in one. Front and rear parking sensors are now standard across the board, LED combination taillights, as well as USB-C charging ports, both for the first and second rows. Now in terms of the features lost for the LXS, I'm happy to report that I was unable to find anything that it did lose versus the 2024 model. So basically everything else that was standard equipment is now carrying over in the exact same form or a revised version. Next, moving on to the GT line features gained, it also gets the 12.3-inch CCNC system, this time with built-in navigation. So this is the full CCNC suite, which comes standard with wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay as well. As we know, Hyundai and Kia has slowly started rolling out this new system, which also includes wireless availability for vehicles with built-in navigation as well as without. This means it gets navigation-based smart cruise control as well as highway drive assist with those additional features for the infotainment system. Comes standard with gloss black windshield, pillar, and window frame trim that was formerly as part of an optional package, now standard. Front and rear parking sensors, satin chrome inside door handles, gloss black window switch panel, the IMG skin lower dash pad, which essentially is a more soft touch materials across the front dashboard, that is now standard. Full Syntex seating surfaces replaces the partial leatherette and suede inserts that were formerly on the GT line. As we know, if you optioned the red interior before, that did give you the full Syntex seating surfaces, but now full Syntex is now standard in both the black as well as the optional red. Panoramic power sunroof, overhead LED map lighting, Bose 12-speaker audio system, as well as active sound design are all optional as part of the same equipment package on the GT line. And I believe those are still optional in the prior model year as well. So great to see those features. Now, in terms of the features lost for the GT line, there's actually one, and that is the upgraded LED projector headlights. So for 2025 refresh, Kia has essentially gotten rid of the LED projectors across the board, and now every K5 comes standard with the same multi-reflector type, which was the lower end LED headlight available for the 2024 and prior pre-refresh models. So unfortunately, projectors are no longer available on any trim level, no matter which option package you do choose. But the LED multi-reflector design is still a good output and should be adequate for most drivers out there. Now moving on to the EX features gain, this is some of the biggest changes across the lineup, given that they got rid of the EX Premium package and made most of those features as standard equipment on this trim level. So it now comes with the 12.3-inch CCNC navigation infotainment with wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. It also comes standard with the 12.3-inch fully digital instrument cluster, which is the nicer, slightly more configurable display with nicer graphics in my opinion versus the entry-level models. Comes with navigation-based smart cruise control, highway drive assist 1, surround view monitor system with the blind spot view monitor. That's actually a new feature for the K5 that was not available on the pre-refresh version. Bose 12-speaker audio system, front, rear, and side parking sensors, so you get the additional functionality for the side parking sensors. Power front and rear windows, so all four windows are going to be fully automatic up-down. Active sound design, power folding side mirrors, 8-way power passenger seat with lumbar support, integrated memory driver seat, heated steering wheel, LED combination tail lamps, as well as the outside mirrors with LED turn signal integration. Now you see down the list, I have some of those things as in parentheses as standard. That means those are now standard that were formerly optional on the 2024 model. So as you can see, most of these features were part of that optional package before are now made standard, which is fantastic to see. Features lost on the EX, I'm happy to report there are no features that I was able to find that are being discontinued or going away for 2025. Now finally, moving on to the top performance GT model, the features that are being gained here are the 12.3-inch CCNC navigation system, again, wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, front and rear parking sensors. We have a navigation-based smart cruise control, highway drive assist 1, as well as the side parking sensors. Some of those are going to be standard as well as optional as part of the optional equipment group. So you can see the navigation-based smart cruise control as well as highway drive assist 1 was formerly optional as part of the package. That is now made standard equipment on every single GT. And the side parking sensors are an upgraded functionality from the front and rear that were found on the optional package before. Those are now added to the side. So as you can see, there's still a couple things that are going to be optional as part of the GT package, but did gain a handful of additional standard equipment. And in terms of the features lost, those are going to be the LED projector headlights, as well as the chestnut Syntex interior color, which was the brownish, orangish, beigeish interior color, if you will. Unfortunately, that is no longer available as of the 2025 model year. It just comes with one interior color combination that I'm aware of, which is the black and I believe acid green accents, which are on the exterior as well as the inside of the cabin. So just a couple of small things lost there. And now moving into some of the more deletions across the trim lineup, some of which I've already mentioned. EX Premium package was that upgraded package on the EX. That's no more. Most of that equipment is now standard. We have the EX Ash Blue interior package, which was a color accent passage. That is no longer available. We have the chestnut interior on the GT. And the big one I wanted to discuss before we get into the exact pricing information as well, and that is the 1.6 liter turbo powertrain option on the LXS, GT line, and EX is no longer available as Hyundai has discontinued the 1.6 liter turbo, not only on the K5, but also on the refreshed Sonata, and replaced it essentially with the 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder with or without all-wheel drive, depending on the trim level that you do get. Now this is big news for the K5, because I think that is one of the aspects, the 1.6 liter turbo, that separated it out from not only the Sonata, but also, you know, some of the other competition out there was that engine as standard equipment. So interesting to see that they made that choice, much like that of the Sonata, but it kind of does make sense as they're doing a little bit of a trim consolidation, making choices a little bit simpler for customers out there that are looking to get a midsize sedan from either one of these brands, and I'm sure saving a little bit money on their end, only offering now 2 engine options instead of 3, unless you do get the hybrid Sonata, which is not available in the K5. So now moving on to some of the color availability for this vehicle. There's going to be 4 extra cost colors, some of which are carryover from the previous model year. Other ones are going to be new. So we have Snow White Pearl for $495, Runway Red, Wolf Gray also $495, and then we have Steel Matte Gray for $695. I believe the matte exterior is actually a new offering, and I believe the Wolf Gray might be as well, but that is not going to be the full color palette. Those are just the ones listed as an additional charge on the pricing guide Kia has provided. Unfortunately, I don't have access to the full color palette for the 2025 model year K5, but I'm sure that information will be out here very shortly once the build and price tool goes live on Kia's website. So make sure to stay tuned to them for that information. Now, finally, to cover the information that I'm sure most of you guys are interested to hear, and that is the full pricing information, which is quite interesting, and there's going to be a hefty increase on one trim level in specific. So starting with the LXS, or the entry-level version of the K5, this now starts at $28,145, including destination, which represents a $1,400 increase over a equivalent 2024 model. Next, we have the GT line in both front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive variants. Front-wheel drive is going to come in at $29,145, and all-wheel drive is going to come in at $30,745. Which represents about a $900 increase on paper versus a 2024. But if you look at the effective pricing increase, which factors in some of the now standard equipment that was part of optional equipments before. So if you were going to get that prior optional package anyway, that is now made standard for 2025. This is about a $100 effective price increase, which really in the grand scheme of things is next to nothing. So I would say if you're looking at a GT line with some of those optional packages before, essentially it's going to be the same price as the previous model year. Now we have the GT line premium package in specific. That's a $2,000 increase over the 2024s. But again, when you factor in some of the effective changes to the features and stuff, it's going to be about $1,000 more than it was for 2024. So that's a little bit more of a price increase there. Next, moving on to the EX, this is going to come in at $35,645, which represents a $5,000 price increase over a 2024. But again, the EX premium package essentially is now made standard equipment instead of being offered before, which brings the effective price down to about $1,400, much like that of the LXS. So I'm sure Kia covered their bases and kind of analyzed what changes are going to be there, but on paper that seems like quite a bit, but when you dig into it a little bit further, it's a little bit more tolerable. Now finally, the GT and GT1 package. The standard base GT is going to come in at $35,145. With GT1 it's going to be $39,545, and this represents a $2,000 or $2,200 increase over a equivalent 2024. So $2,000 for the standard GT and $2,200 for the GT with GT1 package. So that's actually quite a bit of money for that top GT performance. And as you can see, if you're getting a fully loaded K5 GT1 package and an extra cost paint color with a few additional accessories, you're pretty much going to be knocking on the door of $40,000 for this vehicle, which is quite crazy to think about given some of the price increases year after year from the introduction of the GT package, 2 or 3 years ago. So, it is a little bit alarming that it is going to be exceeding $40,000 in some cases, but you are still getting a lot of vehicle for the money, and certain things you cannot get on the Sonata N line that are going to be found on the K5 GT with GT1 package, such as ventilated front seats. So keep that in mind, as you are getting a handful of more features on the GT1 package than that of a Sonata N line. But again, that is going to be still several $1,000s cheaper than the Kia version here for those features. So I think that is pretty much going to do it here for the information I have for the 2025 model year changes on the refreshed K5. As you guys probably know, it was revealed at the 2024 Chicago Auto Show. I got a quick hands-on look at it. Unfortunately, I did not film really any video from the Chicago Auto Show and the debuting of the refreshed K5 as well as the Kia Carnival. Make sure to stay tuned here on the channel for more information on that vehicle. But it does look very nice from the press images and what I saw at the Chicago Auto Show. It's definitely an evolution, not a revolutionary design, not an all new generation, anything like that. But I think most people that were happy with the current design language are gonna find the updated version quite nice looking as well. So if you guys enjoyed this video and or found something helpful, make sure to hit that like button below. It greatly helps out the channel, these videos. Subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know your thoughts on some of these changes, including features, options, packaging, and even that pricing information down in the comment section below. Do you think the K5 is still going to be competitive at these new updated pricing with the updated feature set, or is there another vehicle in the midsize sedan segment that you think is a little bit more appealing to you, either for the price, the features, etc., down in the comment section below. I do think certain trim levels of the Sonata kind of, make more sense, but then again, I think certain trim levels of the K5 make a little bit more sense, depending on what your needs, wants, styling preferences are, etc. Certainly going to be a little bit more gloss black interior trim on the K5, where that's really not found on many trims of the Sonata at all. So, nice that they have differentiated these two vehicles that share the exact same platform quite a bit and differentiating them via pricing as well. So let me know all that down in the comment section below. As always, I appreciate the continued support and hope to see you guys in the next one.